Hello and welcome back to another week of the Solve World podcast. I am your host, Hannah Holden. This is your source to accelerate your self-belief and become the person that you were meant to be. So happy to be back with just a normal episode this week. Last week I was traveling and I was recording from my rental car again, so it might have been a little bit lower quality sound-wise, but I still wanted to check in, but it does feel good to be back to just a normal week, a normal episode. And I really want to talk this week about energy. You hear people talk about vibration sometimes, but I really believe that if we're not paying attention, we are often kind of putting energy out to other people or to our work that may not represent our highest version of ourselves. And let me explain a little bit. So I notice a big difference in myself and in my work when I wake up in the morning and I jump right into my work. And some mornings I feel like some mornings we just have to do that. But I notice a big difference because I might jump out of bed and just go right into work mode, right into, hey, what do I want to accomplish today? And I'm really activating my mental energy first thing in the morning, which is great. That's when I'm sharp. That's when I tend to have just so much energy to get things done. But at the same time, what I've learned is that it's very powerful to start our morning activating energy in a different place. And what I mean by that is almost more like activating energy in our heart or energy in our soul, through really taking some time with ourselves before we jump into all of the tasks of the day. And this might sound kind of, people always say woo-woo, this might sound woo-woo, but if you think about it this way, how we start our day, the energy that we start our day with, the thoughts that we're thinking, where our head's at, how we're feeling emotionally, how we're feeling physically, all of those things kind of ripple out into our day, and they ripple out into the people that we come across, and they ripple out into the way we do things. So we might still have the same set of tasks that we're planning to do, but how we do them and how we show up for them is probably going to be different depending on how we started our day. So I notice this big difference in myself. So when I start my day with some sort of practice around aligning with myself. And the big one for me on this is just taking a little time to myself, doing a little bit of journaling. And I've been a proponent of gratitude journaling for years now because I tell people that it's changed my life, literally. Just taking that 10, 15 minutes in the morning with a cup of coffee and writing down what I'm grateful for. But then I really sit in that and soak in that energy of what I'm grateful for, which really elicits all of these positive emotions and feelings of gratitude. And wow, just my life is so beautiful and there's so much for me to embrace and look forward to. And it just this positive optimism first thing in the morning, which is really beneficial because we all live stressful lives. There are things that comes up. There are stressors we encounter throughout the day. There are fears that we have, uncertainty. Sometimes we get irritable or frustrated. So starting that day with those positive emotions is so powerful because it sets the standard. It sets the tone for the day. But on top of that, the other thing, and I know I've shared this on the podcast, but it's just so important, so I'm going to share it again, is I will write down affirmations or intentions in the present tense of things that I want to come to being in my life. So these are all I am statements around goals that I have. And there is something so powerful of starting the day this way because it really gets me grounded and gets me so anchored in my purpose, my goals, my vision, what I'm really here on this planet to do, to create, to be, all of that. It really helps me sink into that and remember that and keep it top of mind. But it doesn't matter what you're doing with your life. Any intentions you have for how you want to show up as a person, how you want to treat other people, the impact you want to have on those around you, maybe in any facet of your life, the goals that you have, getting grounded in those and getting grounded in what really matters to you first thing in the morning is just going to set you up for so much success throughout the day. So I notice a huge difference when I do that, and not just do it like a check in the box, but really soak in the experience. If it's 20 minutes with a cup of coffee, doing that, really be present. I won't look at my phone. I'll really be present in that moment and really reflect, because it's that moment of reflection that allows me to just get that razor sharp clarity. And then I feel like everything else I do throughout the day kind of stacks on top of that in a positive way. And it also makes it really apparent when there's things that I was maybe going to do in my day that don't really align, that don't really matter. Because so often we just are on autopilot and we're kind of just moving throughout the day, being unconscious, getting caught up in things, and they might not really matter. So starting the day with that presence. But the other side of this that I really wanted to talk about today is just how your energy affects other people. And I've said this to people before, but I really believe that as a leader, and I know some of you may see yourself as a leader and some of you may not, but I use the term leader in the sense of someone who maybe leads other people, or it may be that you influence other people, but there is a aspect of leadership that is influential. It's how you lead yourself, but also how is my energy or my actions or my example, how is that impacting those around me? And you don't have to have a title for that. I think we all have different opportunities to lead. And one way is through our energy, because if you've ever noticed, there are some people, even people in leadership roles, who really don't have a handle on their energy. And if you've ever worked for a really chaotic boss, or someone who's just all over the place, up and down, they don't manage their personal stress well, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think there are those really extreme examples where we've had coworkers, we've known people where, man, they just show up and they're so chaotic, and they have that potential to affect people around them. But it can be more subtle too. It can be more subtle if we're carrying stress or unresolved feelings into our day. It can be subtle how that's impacting other people. But it's also such a big opportunity, because when you take the time to stabilize your own energy, reflect, really get that clarity, really align around your intentions, we just show up differently. You will show up differently in your day. You're going to show up being such a positive influence to those around you, just really showing up in, I think, what is your truest form, unburdened by all of the stress, because you've taken that time to kind of let it go. Now, it doesn't mean the stress isn't there, but it's just creating that intentionality for how you want to show up. And this is a powerful opportunity, because I think what a lot of people don't realize, and I don't remember who said this, so I wish I could attribute this, but this quote of, your energy introduces you before you do. So it is your energy that people feel before they actually meet you. So when you walk into a room, your energy, are you inviting? Are you open? Are you positive and optimistic? Are you present? People feel that, and it is powerful. People talk a lot about, in the corporate world, about executive presence and leadership presence. And this is a part of it. How present are you with yourself? Are you able to be fully present in a moment, fully engaged in a moment? And that could be with your family. That could be with your coworkers. If you are a leader, that could be with the employees that work for you. Are you able to give them your full presence? I believe there is nothing more powerful than giving someone your full attention, your full presence, even if it's for a limited amount of time. That is one of the biggest gifts we can give to other people, is that respect of giving them our full presence. But if you're listening, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There are those people, and it might not just be at work, it could be anywhere, where they walk in and they are so present, and they seem so free, and there is something about their energy that is inviting, it's intoxicating. You can't help but just feel drawn to them, want to be around them, feel positive around them. You almost feel like you're better being around them. Like somehow the light that they are shining lights you up too. And so that is how powerful it is. The energy that we're kind of creating every day when we wake up and we start our day, it is that powerful. And it's not woo-woo, actually. It's really just it's just humans. We can really be impacted by that, and it can be such a powerful influence. So if you are someone who not only wants to just feel better and feel more aligned and take care of yourself, great. But if you are someone who wants to start changing the way people interact with you, the way people respond to you, that is huge. That is the biggest way. If you think about it, we're all sort of selling something. And I'm not even really a big fan of traditional sales, but we're all selling things throughout our day where we might be trying to collaborate with someone. We might be hoping someone will do business with us. We might be presenting, whatever it is, we are putting something out there to people, whether it be different offers or ideas. And we're really just hoping that people respond to it and people buy into our ideas, they buy into what we are offering, and they buy into us. But I think the piece that people don't realize is that they're experiencing your energy long before you say anything, long before you work together. And that is something that you can cultivate by setting that tone with yourself first thing in the morning, because it will carry throughout your day and people will respond differently to you. And I notice a big difference in myself, because there are days where I let stuff start to build up. Maybe I go days or weeks where I'm just kind of in that autopilot, and I really haven't really slowed down and really been intentional and aligned and checking with myself and doing the journaling. And I notice I'm not as impactful, and I don't have that. My spirit is not as light, and I'm not as impactful with other people. But when I take that time to intentionally cultivate myself, my energy, align around my goals, feel that sense of peace and fulfillment first thing in the morning, then it changes the way that I show up. It changes the way I speak to all of you on the podcast. It changes the way that I'm going to take on different goals or tasks throughout the day. It might even change what I focus on, because I realized that some of the things I was planning to do were fear-based, or they weren't really what mattered to me. So taking that time to reflect and align helps you just get razor sharp on the clarity of what it is you're trying to do. And the result is that what you put out into the world through you, through your work, through interactions with people, everything you touch is going to look different. It's going to feel different to people. And I can't underscore enough how potent this is, because if you think about it, your energy, you touch something, you're putting your energy into it, and there is a ripple out into, let's say you're doing a post on social media, but your energy, you are really aligned when you do that. And so it's so clear and people can feel that, versus when you're not aligned and maybe you're in fear-based thoughts or limiting thoughts. How does that change what you say? How does that change the message that you tell others? How does that change the way that you interact with others? And so there is this ripple effect that starts with our energy. And so everything we touch in our day, every person we interact with, that energy just kind of ripples out into the world, and it changes everything. So yes, it's really wonderful for us to have that time to get clear and feel aligned, but it also has just an insane ripple effect around us, because people can really feel it. They might not be able to explain it. They might not know why. They might not be able to put their finger on why. Oh, I trust that person. I really like their energy. There's something about them. They just seem at peace. They feel free, So people might not even really consciously be having those thoughts about you. A lot of this is really unconscious, but people will respond so differently to you. And it's really powerful when someone is embodied. And when I say embodied, it's that they're fully in their body. And I think in our modern world, we get so in our mind, we get so in stress, fear, overwhelm, burnout, all those things. And a bunch of people are walking around in their mind all the time, which we have to do that. a lot of the time. We have to use our minds. But a lot of people are just walking around in their heads. They're not actually present. They're not actually there with you, connecting with you, hearing you. And I think in this age of technology and AI, it's just probably going to get worse because we're going to think that we can automate so many things. But the one thing that we'll never be able to automate is the power you will have with other people when you are fully in your body, when you have really tapped into your heart, your body, and you've let go of your mind for a moment and you show up fully present with other people, even if it's just for 10 minutes, even if it's just for an hour, but you are fully in your power, you are fully embodied, you are fully there for people, you are present, you are listening, you are paying attention. There is nothing, I think, not a bigger gift you can give people is your attention, your presence. And so that is the one thing we will never be able to automate, is the impact that you can have on people just by being in positive energy, being fully embodied, and showing up with other people to connect. And that is going to be incredibly powerful, incredibly engaging for other people because, like I said, in our modern world, we're just running from thing to thing. A lot of it's autopilot. There's so much that people have to get done that we just don't slow down often enough and really engage with people on a fully present level. And so this is something I think about as a consultant, is that sometimes when I work with people, one of the things that I believe I need to be able to provide, or I'm there to provide, is that presence, is that mindfulness, is that being fully engaged with people and giving them that energy from me. And I say that because not everyone that I work with has the luxury of always having their battery recharged like I do. I recharge my battery and I go into situations with clients. I go into working with teams with a fully charged battery, with a lot of self-work and intention to be fully present and engaged with people and help people feel seen, make sure they feel heard, because I'm there, I'm present, and I'm listening. And so that's just a luxury in a lot of places. That's a luxury in a lot of workplaces. That's a luxury in a lot of families where people are go, go, go. Maybe they're not really sitting down at the dinner table and being present and fully engaged with each other. People are on their devices, they're on their phones. It's not just at dinner tables, it's in work meetings, all of that. So I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. This isn't just for coaches and consultants, though I think this is very important for coaches, consultants, therapists, because in a way, we have been given this gift through our profession to harness our presence, to have that flexibility to recharge our battery a lot. So we show up in spaces with that recharged battery, giving people that gift of our presence, our connection, our interest in them, even our interest in them and what they're going through, and that support. And so, yes, it's very important for coaches, consultants, therapists, but it's also important for anyone else. If you're in sales, imagine the difference of the energy you're giving people. You're selling to them, but you're listening to them. You're actually hearing what they're saying. You're actually really showing up differently. So it doesn't matter if it's sales, if it's anywhere, any possible job or role that you have, anybody you interact with. It is a superpower. It is literally a superpower to be that aware of yourself, that you know that if you start your day differently and you shift the energy that you hold, that people around you are going to respond completely different to you. And we don't get this right every day. Just to level with you, we do not get this right every day. I do not get this right every day. But I can tell you that I see a very big difference on the days when I do that, and the energy that I'm bringing and how people respond to it, versus when I'm chaotic, I haven't grounded myself, I'm kind of all over the place, I'm tense, I'm allowing the stressors I have to seep in, then I'm showing up differently. And as a consultant or coach, then I feel like it's become about me, which is not my job. It's not supposed to be about me when I'm doing my work. So it is really important to have a practice around that reflection and it be able to, like I said, set that tone for my day so that I make sure that I'm showing up clear. I've cleared it all out. My energy, you talk about, if you've ever heard people talk about, clean energy, clear, that's what they're talking about. And it takes intentionality. It takes practice to do that. And we don't get it right all the time. We will have days where we're cranky, days where we are chaotic, stressed, where we let the fear seep in or whatever we're personally going through. It happens. But it's also the awareness that when we see that happening, we know we can reset. There is always another day. Tomorrow's another day. We can wake up and we can do it completely differently. So I guess my overall message here is, take time to clean up and clear up your energy, because when you do that, your energy and your influence will be that much more potent. It is not going to be diluted by yesterday's mistakes, yesterday's failures, fears about the future. You will be more fully present and embodied, and that will have a tremendous ripple effect with those around you, and it really will pave a path to more success. All right, that got long. I don't know how that happened, but this felt really important to share. I'm going to continue to work on my own practice with this because I love the difference in how I feel when I take the time to do this. So I hope this helps someone out there. Thank you so much for joining this week, and I will talk to you next time.